All right, light up those pumpkins, everybody, because we are live. Let's see who else is awake and alive out there tonight. That's right, we are live. It is Monday, October 4th, 2021, and you know what time it is. Happy Michael Myers Monday, everybody. Thank you all so much for joining me here tonight. If you're new here, my name is Matt. Halloween Daily News. This is our weekly live stream where we talk all things Michael Myers and the Halloween movie franchise, and where we are counting down the days now, the hours pretty much now, until the release of Halloween Kills. It is October. It is our time. The season is upon us. The season of Michael, the season of the witch. It's all here, the season of Halloween. And to all of my returning friends who I already see in here in the chat, livening things up already in the chat room, what is up, guys? Happy Michael Myers Monday. We are here. Can you guys believe it? We are days away from the release of the film. It is officially October. This is our second to last Monday before HK finally hits theaters. So right now, a salute to all of you guys. Happy Michael Myers Monday, everybody. How is everybody doing tonight? Anthony, Cars, Tom, what's up? Thank you. Happy Michael Myers Monday. Darlene and Art and Phil have checked in. Megatron's in the house tonight. Giovanni. Let's see. Who else is in here? I saw David Suber earlier. There's Chad, of course. Gore was here earlier. It's Gore time. Ken is here. Michael, thank you all for being here. Brett has checked in. Got a good crowd. And, of course, the man himself, Ryan Korn, has already checked in here. CHRM has arrived. All right, we've got a good little group in here already, and more will filter in as we keep going. Summit is here as well. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. All right, we're going to have a fun show tonight. Lots to talk about and some fun stuff. You might have seen my posts earlier, and I hope you caught our live stream from Friday. If not on Friday, maybe you caught it over the weekend of the Halloween show, where we premiered a clip from our upcoming interview with Carmela McNeal. And tonight we're going to premiere another clip before that full interview drops in a couple days. And we're going to be talking about that in a little bit. And, of course, we're going to be breaking down that new featurette that was released last week with all of the returning legacy actors reprising their roles from 1978. We're going to talk about that. And a few news items. I gotta say right off the bat, though, this is just the way it's going to be this month. There's so much going on with this franchise right now as we speak that certain news items that in January or March or April, we would have spent 10 or 20 minutes talking about on here. They're probably not even going to get discussed tonight just because there is so much going on right now. And I really got to prioritize, and we got to talk about the big stuff right now. And also because I'm going to try to do all this and blast through it and have fun with it, but try to wrap it up around midnight because I got another interview tomorrow I got to get up for. And it's with another Halloween Kills cast member. Not going to tell you who, but it's going to be coming soon. And so I got to be awake and kind of caffeinated a little bit before doing that tomorrow. And also, you might have seen my tweet last night. I realized that we have just enough nights, starting last night, if you were to watch every single film in the franchise, one per night, and ending with Halloween Kills on Thursday the 14th, which I checked, and it does sound like our local theater here in Kill Devil Hills is going to be getting the film, thankfully, on preview night, on Thursday night, and the first show is going to be around 7 p.m. So that's our plan to go see it for the first time Thursday night. So I started last night, and I tweeted my lineup, how I'm going to do it. I started with Halloween 2 last night, the 1981 Halloween 2. And each night I'm going to watch one of the films right before I go to bed in order of release, right up through both the Rob Zombie films. And then Next Tuesday, I'm going to drop back. Then I'll watch 78, the original. And then Wednesday, the night before ICHK, I'm going to watch 2018. And I'm kind of live tweeting them as I go, and you guys are welcome to join in on that. That's over on our Twitter account. And who knows, maybe next week we'll do like a special, some kind of special thing for those last two, especially 2018 right before, and of course 78 leading into that. So that's what we got going on. So we're gonna go through some of this stuff. The first thing I want to do, like normal, is a little show and tell, some new merch, and this is something that I showed you guys, I think a week or two ago. Something that I picked up in our travels. This is from NECA. This is the Halloween 2018 body knocker, and you can see the body knocking around right there. This is the unbox. I showed it to you. It was still in the package, and I just wanted to show that to you. And I've got a quick little video compilation that I'm going to premiere right here for you guys before it's been shared anywhere else. You might remember a few weeks ago, I showed you our recent haul, some Myers merch that I've picked up in our travels in recent weeks and months to some of these different conventions. Well, I did some proper showcase video of those items, including that guy. And we're going to run that right now so you can check it out. This is some of our recently acquired new additions to our personal collection, to my own Michael Myers collector's shelf, or shelves as it were. But check it out. This is some of the items that I showed you on here. But like I said, the lighting in here and everything, it's not really optimal to do these items justice. So I wanted to shoot some proper HD video and with a little bit better lighting and show these items off for what they are. And I also put some text in there for where they came from, just so you don't have to have me yapping through it all and telling you what it's all about. So here you go. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Yeah, I don't know why we keep having technical difficulties starting these videos here lately. It's kind of annoying. Anyway, apologies everybody. Let's start this again. And just a reminder, we've got these officially licensed Halloween Kills butcher knife replicas, $20 each plus shipping. We've got them in stock right now at HalloweenDailyNews.com/shop, along with the officially licensed HK masks by Trick or Treat Studios. Those are 70 plus shipping. And you've still got time if you want yours for the premiere next week. You can order right now from our online store, HalloweenDailyNews.com/shop. All right, so let's get into the news. Last week was a massive news week. I'm not going to go into detail about all of it. I went over each of the items during the Halloween show on Friday, and hopefully you check that out. But there is just a ton of stuff happening right now. I mean, the excitement, as you know, is at an all-time high right now, and it's just an unbelievable time to be a fan of this franchise. Last week we had new music. Another third track from John Carpenter's score was released, and this one's called Michael's Legend. It's very different than the others that were released, the other two. This one much slower and kind of mournful and haunting. I've got some ideas in my, when I listen to it, I've got some ideas of what's probably going to be happening on screen, maybe when they play that. But what do you guys think of that new track, Michael's Legend? That was released on Wednesday morning. Then that night, actually, technically it was Thursday morning, but right at midnight, the band Ghost surprised everybody and released a new song, Hunter's Moon, that is also featured in the film. And the next morning they released a official music video to go with it, and it's Michael even makes a little cameo in it. It's awesome, and it's a good song. I mean, it's a damn good song. It rocks. I've been playing it on repeat pretty much since it was released. And it was pretty interesting to hear the singer, main force behind Ghost, Tobias Forge. He actually did post an interview, not really an interview, but he it was a social media post that was reposted here on YouTube, basically explaining the origin of the song and the fact that, yeah, it is kind of written for the film. Ryan Turek approached him about possibly contributing a song. He already had something that was kind of close to it, and basically it sounds like he tweaked it just a little bit and had the lyrics kind of tie in a bit to the film and the story, not directly, not overtly too much, but yeah, this is an original song, basically written for Halloween Kills. So how cool is that, guys? And it rocks. But that was, of course, just the beginning last week. Hopefully you caught my full interview with Salem Collins. She plays the new character of Christy in Halloween Kills. We posted the entire interview last Thursday. And then on Friday, of course, it was Blum Fest. Tickets went on sale for Halloween Kills. We got the new Dolby poster released. And it was all capped off with the new featurette called Return to Haddonfield. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look now at that. We're going to take a look at that featurette, and we're going to kind of go through it. I'm not really going to be listening to the interview portions. By now, I'm sure you've watched it. It's a fun little 90-second featurette, and it features our returning legacy cast. Of course, not only Jamie Lee Curtis, but we've got Kyle Richards playing Lindsay Wallace once again. Nancy Stevens now making her fourth appearance as Nurse Marion Chambers. And of course, the great Charles Cyphers is back as Lee Brackett. And he's former Haddonfield sheriff. We know he's not sheriff now because there's a new sheriff in town. His name is Sheriff Barker. He was sheriff in 2018. He's back now. He's played by Omar Dorsey. And but we actually got our first glimpse of Brackett in that final trailer. This little featurette gives us quite a bit more, including some key dialogue that he says, including one of his most infamous and iconic lines from the original film. But again, I really just want to look at some of these images that we're looking at here, and how it ties in, and how really I'm starting to see. I don't really want to talk about plot points too much because we're like so close here, and we um, but I'm starting to see how the whole plot of this film and how everything's kind of going to come together most likely. And so anyway, let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this featurette. Now, it's got a lot of good moments here. Here, we'll go over here. So I'm just gonna pause and comment on a couple of these key moments. I mean, we've seen some of this, but there's a good look at Brackett right there. And I mean, right off the bat, I mean, can we just talk about Charles Cyphers for just a minute? I mean, he is just what an amazing performer. I mean, not only as Brackett in Halloween and of course Halloween 2, but I mean, he's been in so many other great films. He's one of John Carpenter's favorite actors to collaborate with. He worked on many of Carpenter's films throughout the years and many other things. So to have him back at his age, I think is pretty awesome. We'll see later on in here that it looks like he is now a head of security at Haddonfield Memorial Hospital. So again, you can see the angry mob behind him, and just that look on his face right here. I mean, just that look on Brackett's face, hearing that the maniac that killed his daughter 40 years ago has escaped again and is back in Haddonfield. That's what he just heard right here, and what's going through his mind right here. Of course, Nancy Stevens, once again playing Nurse Marion. I mean, such an iconic part of this franchise. I mean, this is her fourth appearance in one of these films after Halloween, and then she shows up in Halloween 2 to deliver that bombshell news, that Michael and Laurie are related in that version of the story. And then she came back again in H2O with Jamie Lee Curtis in H2O in that really great opening sequence. So again, I mean, just that they brought these legacy characters back, I just can't say enough about how exciting this is for us longtime fans of this franchise. Kyle Richards, we've seen bits of that from the trailer, and here we go. Split screen. There's little Lindsay Wallace, 1978, and 40 years later. And Kyle there. I mean, doesn't she look great? I mean, doesn't she? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, she is like, this could have been stunt casting. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could have been like, let's just, bring Kyle Richards in because maybe it's going to attract some of the Real Housewives audience. But this, to me, doesn't feel like that. It doesn't feel like that's why. I mean, certainly, whoever writes paychecks at Universal, that's going to go into their consideration, whatever the contract was. But I don't think that was David Gordon Green's thinking at all in reaching out and writing this, bringing Lindsay back. And it doesn't look like it's Kyle Richards' intent either. I just love that it looks anyway in this still that she's taking this serious. This looks like fear. This looks like somebody that was terrorized, when they were 8 years old, and now 40 years later, it's happening again. Here it is, your worst nightmare, come back again. And yeah, it just looks great. And then just seeing the split screen, it really hits home what we're dealing with here. You know, the span of time. We've heard Jamie Lee talk about how this was very much the most rewarding thing for her, was reuniting with these guys. Now let's look at this right here. Yeah, I made this the thumbnail for tonight's live because I mean, God, look at this. I mean, now this is, you know, I say clearly. I mean, it's pretty obvious that this is going to be part of the 1978 flashback portion of the film. The mask is not damaged here, but man, I mean, this looks like, if you didn't know better, you'd say this was a still from either the 78 original or from H2, 1981's Halloween 2. I mean, they got that lighting, that Dean Cundy dark cinematography. I mean, the shape that is the shape in the shadows. I mean, yeah, Jake Blaster says, great shot of the shape. This is how you do it. I agree, man. I mean, this is my favorite shot of this whole featurette. This is, I mean, not that they're selling to me at this point. I was sold pretty much the day they announced this film. Let's be honest here. I was already in line for my ticket as soon as they announced it. But I mean, this just, it looks so dead on. I mean, just everything, the composition of it, the shape of the shape, how he looks in mostly in shadow, moving slow. I mean, I just rewatched Halloween 2 last night. It's so damn good, and Dick Warlock is so great in that as the shape. I just love this. Protect Safe says it's sharp. Yeah, it's sharp, all right. Michael Mullane says very excited about the flashbacks and Kyle Richards' return. Yeah, me too, man. NASCAR says, what is going on with casting of Christy in the movie? I thought a girl named Victoria Paige Watkins plays Christy. Not sure about that. I know our friend Salem is who ended up playing her. All right, let's move a little bit past here. But God, I love this shot. I mean, this gets me so excited and feels like. I mean, have you guys seen the? Well, we'll talk about that later. And again, I've got an idea of who Michael's charging at right here, but I'm going to keep that to myself right now. Great shot, great quick action there. We don't see Michael move very fast, but I mean clearly. Uh, Now it's interesting they say return to Haddonfield. There we got clearly some of the deputies from the sheriff's office right there. Is this part of the flashback sequence right here? I kind of feel like it might be. There's Marion then and now. And then this quick shot here. Again, I mean, I just, it feels like Kyle is taking this role seriously and really giving Lindsay, some legit concerns here, as she should be. I mean, I want to, know that these people, uh, were affected by this, as you would be, as anybody would be, as we know Lori was. So obviously, these other people that were so close to it would have to be. And no matter how many Halloweens have come and gone, you know that they are up all night every year thinking that it's possible. And of course, it looks like there's Tommy right there in the foreground, just to the left of the screen. This is probably about the time they're getting word of what's going on or what has already happened in the previous film. Marion, Then and Now. Again, I mean, I can't say enough good things about Nancy Stevens and just being such a huge part of this franchise. I mean, before this most recent round of films, she was almost tied with Jamie Lee Curtis for being in the same amount of films. She was in 3, and Jamie was in 4, and so far, she's still almost tied with Jamie, but of course, Jamie's got one more. It sounds like. And we know from that trailer that, yeah, they're going to recreate that scene on the right. Michael's hand is going to come through that window, and we saw bits of that in that trailer. I just love how these films rhyme with each other, how the scenes reference the earlier scenes and mirror the earlier scenes. And here we go, another great shot of Brackett. This is what I was talking about. You can clearly see there on his patch, Haddonfield Memorial Security Guard. So yeah, when the Strode women arrive, Brackett is going to find out what's going on, and it's not hard to imagine what his reaction is going to be. It's not hard to imagine it at all. Danny McBride talking about connecting the characters from the original and seeing what they're up to now. Again, I'm not going to play all the interview portions. You've heard that by now. That looks like Tommy coming in to inform Brackett some more of what's going on. I mean, you just look at the concern. You just know that these people have thought about this. If not every minute, then definitely every October and every October 31st, they've thought about that night. And in Brackett's case, Michael murdered his daughter with his bare hands. Strangled the life out of her in one of the most brutal scenes in the 78 film, where the camera just lingers and lets you watch the life slowly leaving Annie. I mean, yeah. So he's thought about what he would do if Michael ever came back. I'm guessing he spent a lot of time over the last 40 years thinking about what he would do. And now, here we are. Again, I just can't say enough about the fact that this man is back. I mean, look at the look of concern on his face. He has got his gun drawn. He means business. He wants to avenge his daughter's death. Mitchell Kindly has checked in. What's up, man? Happy Michael Myers Monday. Shout out to you, Matt and Jake. Awesome. Matt V is here. Dustin says, hey, everybody. Rad7 is here. Got to get Loomis right. Less would be more in this case, says Rad. I totally agree. And again, I was rewatching. Let me address that just real quick. The Loomis thing, I totally agree. Less is more, and I think that's probably what we're going to get. That's what I'm hoping we're going to get, like a real less is more, and I think we will. Like, think back to the opening moments of Halloween 2, not the very opening, but after the credits when you're kind of following Michael before he goes into Alice's house, and he kind of goes into the Elrod house and gets. You remember how he sees Loomis? I shot him 6 times. I shot him 6 times. Off in the distance down at the end of the road, and Loomis is, yeah. That's how we should see Loomis in Kills and About All. Off in a distance, kind of doing what we know Loomis was doing around that time. Maybe even saying some of those lines that we know he said, or something similar to that effect. So I totally agree with that. Less is more. And again, I don't know how much we're going to be getting of any of these returning characters as far as screen time. This movie just sounds wild. And from what I'm learning about these newer characters, that from what Salem told us, and from what you're going to hear that Carmela told us about her character Vanessa. This movie is just wild and jam packed with Haddonfield residents, and they're just all going to be a part of this in a wild way. I can't wait to see how it all um, intertwines. But I love this shot of Brackett. God, I mean, it's already breaking my heart though, because I just want him. I feel his pain as a parent, and just I really think Charles Cyphers is, again, I mean, not phoning it in. They are here, and they know that this is a chance to reprise these roles, in a way that is respectful and once and for all rhyming with the Carpenter original. Nancy again talking about being here, and then that I believe that is Robert Longstreet, who plays our new Lonnie Elam, not Brent LePage, who originally played Lonnie back in '78, of course. And this was a pretty funny moment. I mean, because Kyle has always talked. She told me in our interview in 2013. She talked about Jamie Lee carrying her from the set, and here you go, Jamie Lee recreating it on the set of HK. And they're all just talking about how amazing it is that all this time, 40 years later, 40 more than 40 years later, 41 years later when they were filming this, 43 years later now as we're speaking, to bring all of them back like this. It really is something special that you don't see a lot. Although, because Halloween is the trendsetter, you will see a lot. You will see a lot of this moving forward. Here's part of that recreation. And we've seen that glimpse of the shape before, but another great look. A bit of Allison, Tommy. And here's the part. I don't have to say the line. You guys know it. But there he is. Former Sheriff Brackett. Now, I mean, who's he talking to? Who's he got the gun drawn to? Who knows? But and I look at this again. I feel his parental rage, and then I look at the people surrounding him, and you just feel their anger. They're not recognizable faces that we know from the franchise, but they are clearly Haddonfield residents that are pissed that Michael is back, and they are not. Yeah, they are taking matters into their own hands. So, we've known from the very beginning that this film, the working title, was Mob Rules. We've known that it's going to explore mob mentality. Yeah. This still right here is a perfect illustration of that. But yeah, did your hair on the back of your neck stand up when Brackett said those words? Because I know mine did. Great shot of the mask damage there. And of course, October 15th, which, again, just a few days away now. It's officially a week and a couple days, I guess. But so, again, I mean, so much to process in that. It's pretty amazing how much they've got in there. But I loved it, and I love that they really are giving, those returning actors specifically the spotlight in that featurette, that first kind of behind the scenes thing out. Now I know there's a lot of B-roll footage out there and other interviews from set that has been released, and honestly, I don't even know, how that got released as it is in that current form. It's almost just like, studio B-roll that they send out to media sometimes, and somebody just leaked it onto their channel or something. Um, but I did see that, and I watched some of those, and you know, it was all pretty, standard stuff that you'd expect. I totally expect that most of that stuff, including this featurette, will be included on the Blu-ray whenever that is released, probably early next year, I imagine, if it follows the same schedule that the 2018 film did. All right, so let's see what you guys are saying about this. Byron checks in, says, "How are you?" I'm doing pretty good, man. Rad says, "I think Brackett is going to be badass. Cypher still has it." I agree, man. I think I'm so pumped because again, we didn't see almost any of him uh, before this featurette, before this week. But just that little bit of what we do see in there, those images I showed you, and hearing him say that line, yeah, I mean, I am so pumped. I agree. I think Brackett is going to be total badass. And I think Charles Cyphers, I've heard, and again, I don't read reviews before, but, things are circulating and headlines and everybody's got an opinion. But I've heard the word emotional come up, more than once in describing this film. And I think Charles Cyphers is going to bring that. It looks like Kyle Richards is going to be able to bring that too. And that's what we want. But I mean, just put yourself in Brackett's shoes. Again, your teenage daughter is strangled by the guy while you're out hunting for the guy and basically not taking the warnings about that guy seriously. Then that guy strangles your daughter. It destroys you for 40 years, presumably. And I mean, who knows exactly what he's been doing all those years? In the old timeline, he retired after a few years. But yeah, I want to see more of Brackett, and I'm just so stoked to see all of these actors, all of them, back once again. Summit says, with Venom making 90 mil opening weekend, how do you think that will impact HKL's box office success? I think their success is going to be great. It probably won't be that great, but I think they're going to have great success. Yeah, I think it'll probably be. I mean, I don't know what other horror movies have made a ton of money this year. Did A Quiet Place 2? I mean, that made some good money, right? Uh, I don't know. I don't keep up with box office numbers that much, especially since everything is so hybrid right now, and as this release will be, and so everything's a little compromised, and whatever, meant success 2 years ago, pre-pandemic, I don't know that those same numbers apply nowadays. So, but I think it's going to do perfectly fine. I think, yeah. And that's something that I was going to ask you guys later on. I'll go ahead and put it out there now, and you can answer now, answer later. But excuse me. Excuse me 1 second. Rat says you let him out. I love that. How are you guys going to see this movie? I've asked it before, but I think most of you before said you're planning to see it in the theater. That's still my plan, at least first viewing. I don't have premium Peacock right now, so if I was going to watch it on there, I'd have to, upgrade to the premium at least for a month or so, I guess. Which I'm still kicking around that idea as a possibility, but I definitely plan on seeing it for the first time next Thursday night in our local theater. Yeah, Chad says, I thought Brackett retired to St. Petersburg. Yes, and that's what they said in Halloween 4 in the old timeline. But of course, this is a different timeline. So those events didn't necessarily happen in this current canon that they're doing. And as to when he retired, who knows? Senor is here. Senor Dia Creepy Pastero. Hola, mi amigo. We're going to get to our interview premiere here in just a minute. Oh, I don't know why that was making so much noise. But I just want to look at a couple more of your comments. We got a lively bunch in the chat room tonight. Jake says Brackett is going to be interesting to see. I hope we get some good exposition scenes with him. That's a good point. Yeah, I think he will be a good way to kind of flashback. And again, looking that he's working at the hospital that does make total sense. That even when he's retired, like I think this is going to be a bracket that has thought again. I just looking at those stills, I feel like this bracket has thought about that night, kind of like Michael has for the last 4 decades, and that's why he couldn't sit still in retirement. That's why he's working the hospital there. I feel like, because this is not a man who can sit still after experiencing that. And so then now he's going to get this up. Laurie Strode's in. Well, what happened to her? And he's going to find out. And I can just see. That's what I mean. I'm starting to like kind of with everything we're seeing, kind of visualize how this is all going to come into play a little bit. And I've got a few little predictions. I guess I'll make my final predictions tonight, because it is playing beyond fast. People are seeing it. Spoilers are starting to surface dangerously. Dangerous around dangerous times on social media. But I guess I'll make two little predictions. Stuff I've said before, but they'll be my official predictions before next week, which will be like our real, like, on the eve of release. Dustin says, I'm watching Halloween right now. That's cool. Paul Williams is here. Happy Michael Myers Monday. He says, hey, Chet, anyone else been watching AMC to get more in the Halloween mood? Yeah, I had them on in the background this weekend. I usually have Fear Fest on, and this weekend, yeah, they were running all the Myers films, so I had it on in the background a lot this weekend for sure. Brett, I do not know what time Peacock will start streaming it. I'm guessing 12 a.m. on the 15th. I don't know. I don't know what time Peacock normally releases their stuff. Maybe it'll be 12 a.m. possibly West Coast, which would make it 3 a.m. over here. I don't know how that works. Again, I'm not too familiar with Peacock. I've got the free version with commercials, and I don't have the paid version. But again, I am, because I think it's like $5 maybe for another tier up, but still with ads, and then $10 for the ad free. I think is what I had found out a while back. So I don't know. I could get it and watch HK every night for the next month at least, and that would certainly save some money of doing it any other way. So, but yeah, for now, this is going to be my first time in a physical theater, honestly, in a year and a half. Longer than that since all this started. So I haven't. So that's big enough, and part of that is because we've only got one kind of small theater around here, but a lot of that is just the way it's worked out, and honestly, there hasn't been anything that was totally worth like taking any kind of risk or anything. But this, it's HK, and it's I got to see this opening night on the biggest screen possible. We don't have a Dolby around here. You probably saw that poster. They're gonna be playing it, pretty as close to IMAX as you can get. Big screens, big Dolby screens. The nearest one's about an hour 45 minutes away. So I might, hopefully in sometime this month, get up to see it on a big screen. But for now, I'm going to see it right where we saw 2018 on opening night 3 years ago. Brad says, crazy to think if pandemic didn't happen, we'd be getting ready for Halloween ends this month. Bittersweet. Yeah, it's very true. That is pretty wild, yeah, to think about. All right, before we get to the interview preview, let me just some other quick little news things, and one of them is pretty cool. Did you guys see this? Check this out. This is the Face Your Fate. Have you guys seen this? They did it kind of the same thing in 2018, but I believe it was Face the Shape. And yeah, I haven't seen where Universal has publicly put this out yet. They probably are gonna, like, tomorrow or next week. But if you go to faceyourfate.halloweenmovie.com, and I put the link down in the description before we started,
you can you can face Michael. What do I mean by that? Well, here's what I mean. You might have already seen my post on Instagram with this, but it'll ask you to upload a photo so that you can appear there in the blade, in the reflection on the blade. Yeah, I don't know why it cut off the bottom half of my face, but you get the idea. And again, I did put the link down below. I expect them to put this out there any day now. Maybe they're saving it for the final week before. But it's pretty cool. You can upload a photo or use the camera to take one. And it makes this little GIF for you, this little 9-second GIF that you can then download and or email to yourself and or share on your social media platform of choice. So you want to go ahead and get yourself in there with Michael and face the shape. Actually, that's what it was in 2018. It was face the shape. This is face your fate. But yeah, here's what it looks like when you get there. faceyourfate.halloweenmovie.com. And yeah, you can use your webcam or your ad photo, and then after you've done it, then it'll come over here, and you can download it or email it or share it, whatever you want to do from there. And something else, just a few hours ago, did you guys see Ryan Turek's Instagram photo that he shared earlier this evening? This is, of course, Blumhouse producer Ryan Turek. A little over an hour ago, he posted this picture. He says, "Took this on our last day of filming Halloween Kills. Someone brought a Jason mask to set. I asked David to give it a contemplative look. Initially, I was going to post it and stir up rumors, but got distracted. In other words, don't read into this." He says that last part in parentheses. And, of course, everybody making comments that they are going to read into this. And there you can even see Drew Sheed from Halloween 2018, who played Oscar, is right there in the comments saying it reads into this with big eyeballs. It's pretty funny. That, of course, David Gordon Green wearing the Halloween Kills hoodie there. Nice looking HK hoodie. They must have got those made on set. Jason mask there. So I thought this was interesting just to see a little bit of the fun they were having on the last day of shooting the film. That was back in 2019. Darlene says, "Love the sweatshirt." Yeah. Yeah, I need one of those. Art says, "Blumhouse should do F-13. Byron says, "Paramount should get Friday the 13th. I don't know what's going to happen with Friday the 13th. But hey, I mean, there's nothing at all that says that they couldn't, um, that they couldn't put somebody wearing a Jason mask in the film. That they couldn't reference other icons as being movies similar to how Scream does. Um, there's ways that it could be in there, and in fact, H2O did that. If you remember, they had a Jason reference right in the beginning, actually, and it was kind of like just a quick way for Steve Miner, who of course directed Friday the 13th Part 2 and 3 and H2O, for him to kind of wink at his Friday the 13th fans, and just for us horror junkies all to kind of get that. Okay, yeah, they didn't outright. It wasn't like that Jason mask, like the kind of definitive. It wasn't that, but I just thought that was cool, mainly because it's the last day of filming, and something, and also just to imagine for a minute. Could you imagine had he posted that, like he said, had he posted that 2 years ago, to stir up controversy, to get everybody, get all of us wigging out. Like, we would have freaked out that, a Jason mask in a Halloween movie. But really, it's not that, you know, it's Jason mask could exist in Haddonfield. If Silver Shamrock mask can exist in Haddonfield, I mean, come on, why not? Let's see here. Phil agrees with Art that Blumhouse should do the next Jason movie. Ken says, I just made my face off. Chaz says, yep, I'm just about there, the point where I stopped taking orders from you. That is a great line to think of when we're talking about Brackett and what I'm talking about with Brackett, because yes, he is going to be at that point. He is not going to be listening to reason, and again, I don't even want to go into too much of speculation now because we're so close. We're pretty much here, So let's just, but yeah, I mean, I you can kind of see where this is coming from, and where it's kind of going to be going in this film. And again, watching some of those on-set interviews with some of the people, I mean, especially if you watch anything Michael Hall's, anyway, I'm not going to go into that, but it's some good indicators as to how all the stuff we already know. We know that this is the community rising up, maybe somewhat futilely to try to take out the boogeyman that attacked them 40 years ago. And yeah, we know how that's going to go. Last week, after Blumfest, or after the Blumfest Part 1, if you remember, later that night, the film had its U.S. premiere screening in California, out near L.A. at Beyond Fest. I believe that's in L.A., isn't it? But yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis was there, David Gordon Green was there, Jason Blum was there, and they streamed the intro, which was really cool, even though it was like an hour after they said it was gonna be. But it was cool when it finally happened, and Jamie Lee Curtis got up there and she said "fuck" every other sentence, and it was awesome. And you can see it. We were sharing it on our socials and everything. And it's over on the Blumfest YouTube or the Blumhouse YouTube channel right now, and you can see that intro. It's really good, and she actually reads David Gordon Green's initial email with exchange with Jason Blum about what would become Halloween 2018, all of which is really cool. And then after the screening, David Gordon Green and Jason Blum came up for a Q&A, and I almost didn't watch it because I was weary of spoilers, but they said right up front. The moderator said right up front that they were gonna, no spoilers because they were streaming and everything. So, and everybody respected that. So it was good. And they did. Anyway, I recommend you check it out over on the Blumhouse channel. It gives yet some more insight about what was the most challenging part for each of them and so forth. But there was a bit that David Gordon Green that he commented on that I wanted to just bring up here. Give me just 1 second and I'll find that quote. Okay, well, I had that quote pulled somewhere, but now I'm not locating it. But anyway, he said some cool statements about making the film, and his most challenging thing was Green's was basically having a middle chapter, knowing it's a middle chapter, leaving you wanting more without leaving on too much of a cliffhanger, having an actual ending. And that was something that I was a little, worried about when anytime anybody announces, oh, we're going to do this many movies, and that is the final scene just always going to be a preview of the coming attraction, and you don't want that. So hopefully, he did say that was the most challenging thing. So the fact that he addresses that it's not easy to have a proper ending, but still be a to be continued, basically. Um, again, it sounds like he's not taking it lightly, and there were some other interesting things that were said during that. Again, they kept it all pretty spoiler free, thankfully. Blum said the toughest part for him was getting everybody in line, all the different producers and all the different people, because there's so many, uh, just so many people behind this property. Um, just when you're talking about Miramax, and then also Trancas and Malika Akkad and John Carpenter and Jamie Lee Curtis, and so that was kind of uh, his most difficult part. But of course, what little I know about Jason Blum as a business person, I mean, it sounds like that's the stuff that he's cut out for, that he does best. All right, let's see. Let's get to our interview preview here. Oh, Chad is out. He says I got to get off and hit the hay. Got to get up early for work. All right, man. Happy Michael Myers Monday, everybody. All right, let's get to tonight's premiere clip. Um, like we revealed Friday night during the Halloween show live episode, our next exclusive interview with a Halloween Kills cast member is with the lovely and talented and very cool Carmela McNeal. She plays the character Vanessa, and we actually met that character briefly in Halloween 2018. You might remember that she was seen as Michael has re-entered the neighborhood in Haddonfield, and they're doing kind of that long shot, and you see her run out of the house with her husband, and they're like late for a Halloween party, it seems, and she kind of sees Michael, and Michael sees her for a second there, and then they get in the car and go, and Michael kind of goes about his killing elsewhere. Well, they are back. In that film, they were just billed. Their characters didn't even have names officially yet in 2018. Carmela's character was billed in the credits of that film as Sexy Nurse, and her husband's character, played by Michael Smallwood, his character's name in 2018 was credited as Hunky Doctor, because that was their costume, Sexy Nurse and Hunky Doctor. And so they were named, for the costumes they were wearing in that film. Well, in the new film, they are back, and they are full characters this time, and we're going to learn more about them. And it is Vanessa and Marcus, and they're husband-wife, of course. And we've seen them in the trailer. In both the trailers, we've seen them. And so we've got a little bit of idea of what's going to be going on with them. We know that they are going to come back into contact with Michael Myers later on that Halloween night, of course. So we premiered a brief clip Friday night from this interview with Carmela, explaining just a little bit about Vanessa and that character, because we didn't know anything after 2018 really, and just what she could tell us going into this without spoiling anything. So tonight's clip, though, I picked out specifically for you guys, with it being Michael Myers Monday and everything. This is a little more specifically about Michael, about the shape, and you'll see it's not a very long clip, but I think you'll like it. She's gonna talk a little bit about working with James Jude Courtney and seeing James actually she said that when she first met him on set, he was pretty much in character outside of the mask there in the zone. That's not part of this clip, but this is the first time she actually saw him with the mask on. This is filming the 2018 film now, and a little bit about Christopher Nelson being the designated handler of the Holy Grail that is the Myers mask. Now, if you'll remember in that film in 2018, because we're all going to be rewatching it if you haven't already. And I rewatched the clip that she's in right before our conversation last week, and there is a moment where Carmela's character sees Michael, and he's kind of off screen. We're kind of looking through his POV almost, but she stops for a second and sees him, and you kind of get the idea that he is looking at her too, and it's almost like they make eye contact for a brief moment there, and then they both kind of go on their thing. Which, knowing now that this character, is going to encounter the shape again in the new film, it really gets me. It, Watching that scene now is a little more haunting and a little more interesting now. So this is a little bit of our interview, just a couple minutes, but this is Carmela talking about filming that scene and specifically that look that she shares with Michael there. And then just a little bit about the first time she ever saw the finished film itself, talking again about Halloween 2018. So check it out. World premiere just for you guys, Michael Myers Monday. And I'll apologize in advance if the clip has a little rocky start. We seem to be dealing with that pretty regularly here. I don't know what that deal is, but let's hope for the best. Here we go. Check it out.
Like Chris guards that mask with his life.
How
So,
bad?
so you don't see the mask until it's time for the mask. So
Mhm.
there's a rehearsal shot, and he's up, and you'll see Chris come over, and then the magic happens, and that's when the mask goes on, and that's when they get it adjusted and all of that. It happens right then, because even right after it's over, like you may see him like walk around with it a little bit, but usually Chris is right there to get the mask, and Chris is the mask handler. Like I've only seen Chris with him in the mask.
Nobody else lays hands on it.
Rightfully, it's nobody else. It's just those two guys, and they're so big. Like they're so. I don't know if you've seen them both in person. You have, right?
Yes.
So they're both big.
Yes.
So you see like these big guys and holding the mask and taking the mask off and working on, So it's it's pretty cool. But yeah, so you don't see it until it's time. Like put it that way. But yeah, that's the first time I saw it, when we were rehearsing the scene prior to shooting and when we shot the scene.
Very cool. Now, in that brief scene, your character, who we now know is named Vanessa, but at the time, sexy nurse, she, you guys are kind of late for a Halloween party, and Marcus runs back in to get the keys, and you do kind of have a second or two what seems like almost eye contact with you and Michael. He's off screen just for a second, and you're on screen, and you kind of pause for a second, and it's as if you're noticing that there's something off about this guy, and maybe he's noticing you too. I don't know. I kind of got that. I just rewatched the scene right before this interview, so it's fresh in my mind, and I kind of, got the impression maybe he's, seeing you as well. Do you remember filming that and hearing any specific direction about, now pause right here just for a second, or anything like that from David at the time?
Yes. It actually said it in the script as well.
Okay.
But it was, they had me like, because I couldn't understand at first how they wanted, because at first in the script it was like almost like he was behind a tree and I was looking to see him. So when we shot it, he was standing just right there in the middle of the pavement. So looking at him like, and David was, telling me to pause on him and look and then go. So, and they told Michael when to come out. So when he came out, it was time for me to do the next part of my scene. But I was happy that I had to look because it gave me a couple minutes with him. Like, because, like you can see me turn around and look, even though it's a quick scene. So that was a good thing for me at the time. So at least for me, I know everyone's going back now watching it like, what is that? Because, it was a quick thing and nobody really paid it any mind. And so it's like everyone's going back now like, wait, what's that? Yeah. That was me.
And here is a still from that particular scene, that moment. Um, and that is Carmela as Vanessa, formerly known as Sexy Nurse, now known as Vanessa. And yeah, you can see right there that she is having a little moment with Michael, little eye contact with the boogeyman. And that's a pretty terrifying prospect to think about. That she sees this guy, the character I mean, and notices that something's off, something doesn't look right, and maybe that thing 40 years ago. It's we heard the kids, we heard Allison's friends talking about it in the last film. It's taken on somewhat of an urban legend thing. Of course, we know what Laurie says is real, and right down to he's coming back. Much like what Loomis always said. But Laurie's had her doubters over the years, I'm sure, in this canon, just like Loomis did in all of those films. There were always people doubting what Loomis was saying. So but yeah, it looks like right here, Vanessa has just an inkling that something is not right about this guy. I also found it very interesting that, as you heard in that clip, um, that was in the script. So how much were they thinking ahead of possibly bringing these characters back? I mean, honestly, I don't think they were thinking too far ahead, but clearly, I mean, somebody somewhere along the way, had an idea to say have this character pause for a few seconds and have this moment. And yeah, the fact that they brought them back, and this is something we talked quite a bit about in the interview, but the fact that they brought Carmela and Michael both back to reprise these roles, as small as they may have been in the last film. I mean, I think that says a lot about David Gordon Green and the makers of this film, and I think it really says a lot, honestly, about the talents of these two performers. Because if Carmela and Michael, didn't impress them with this small scene in 2018, then I don't think it would have even been considered to bring them back. When, I mean, let's be honest, they could have just said, let's just have a whole nother married couple in the sequel. And, and nobody would have really thought much about it. I think it's a great touch. I think it's brilliant to bring these two back into the fold. I think it's so brilliant. And when Jamie shared the photo of Vanessa and Marcus with Lindsay and Marion last week, we saw that image, and as she pointed out, returning characters both from 40 years ago and from the last film. And yeah, so and you'll hear much more about these characters and about working on the 2018 film, and much more about working on the new film when the full interview drops this Wednesday. And there is Carmela and Marcus there, or excuse me, Michael there playing Marcus. uh,
That is from the final trailer. That is a screenshot from the final trailer. You'll also hear us talk about what I see is some neat kind of what I call the rhyming of this movie, and kind of, just fun Easter egg type stuff where we're gonna have a character in a nurse costume interacting with the character of Marion, who we've all for 43 years now referred to as Nurse Marion. Um, I think that's pretty interesting. But I am really excited for you guys to see this full interview. Yeah, it is gonna come this Wednesday, so just 2 days. Still gotta finish editing it just slightly. It's pretty lengthy interview. I mean, we had a great conversation. A lot of it is just about Carmela herself and kind of her background, where she's coming from, and of course our way into that is always talking about the Halloween holiday itself. So there's that there, and more about her passion for acting and performing, and working on 2018, being a Halloween fan and a Michael Myers fan, before getting these roles, and of course, working on the new film. And I think you're going to find it all very interesting. She was just a pleasure to talk to, and she's got some really great stories from the set. A lot that she told us about, and a lot more I feel like that we're gonna that hopefully she'll tell us about, and she'll come back here and tell us about after the movie comes out, because with so many of these interviews, obviously they can't say but so much, and I don't want them to say but so much right now, for all of our sakes. And but in 2 weeks that's going to be another matter once the film is out there and we've all seen it, and then we can talk about a little more freely about some things that nobody wants to mention right now for good reason. So again, that's just a small taste of the interview. It's a great interview. um, Carmela, she rocks. She was just totally down to earth and real with us, and honest, and gave us just some great stories. And again, we're this is the road to H Kills. There's more coming. Like I said, I've got another interview tomorrow morning with another cast member from the film, and that's not all. But you guys know my rule: until it's in the can and done, I don't like to say names and mention things, just so we don't jinx it in any way. So I don't want to say who we're talking about exactly, but yeah, we are not done with the Halloween Kills interviews by any means, and certainly not done with the Halloween Kills coverage. Like I said, these next few days are just going to be insane, and it's pretty much living and breathing Myers right now. From here on out, every day is pretty much Michael Myers Monday for the next what is it? The next 9 days now, I think. So what do you guys think? Let's see. Ariel says excited for Carmela's performance in this film. Also excited for Kyle Richards' performance. I have a feeling she is gonna bring it. I agree. I agree with all of that. And also Charles Cyphers, as we talked about earlier. I really think he is gonna bring it. I think just some of the reactions that I've seen, trying to stay spoiler free and review free, but seeing some statements and reactions, and just seeing what we have seen in the footage that has been released officially, and then adding all that with what things that Carmela has told me about the film, and things that we've heard other people say in other interviews about the film. Yeah, I think it is going to be a powerful, full of powerful performances from some of our favorite people. Because if you think about it, they've got a lot to work with. I mean, if you're Kyle Richards and Charles Cyphers coming back into this to be able to tap into that, I mean, in a way it's daunting, but in a way as an actor, they're probably excited because they are going to get to do some stuff with some damaged people, which means an actor can really act the hell out of these parts. I think it's going to be great. And of course, Nancy Stevens. I mean, who else could play Marion? She's so great. She just, I loved her in H2O. I thought it was so great how they brought her back in H2O. So I totally agree. I think they're all going to bring it. And hearing Carmela and just knowing what I know now about her and having that just a wonderful conversation with her, yeah, I think she is definitely going to bring it as well. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think Vanessa and Marcus are going to be characters that we're not going to forget their names anytime soon after this movie comes out. If what I'm hearing is anywhere near what we're going to see. So yeah, we're gonna have the full interview up this Wednesday. That'll be October 6th. It'll be up Wednesday morning, 10:30 a.m. And it's well over an hour. It's like an hour and a half long interview. It's like I said, it's pretty good sized conversation. We toyed with breaking it up into 2 parts, but honestly, I don't want to hold it. I don't want to sit on it longer than we have to because this is the time. This is the time for these stories to be told, for us to go in to this film and really as fans know that yeah, I mean there's money to be made and there's a business. It's all a business. We get that, but there's some real good things going on in this set and some real passion and some real positive like human things happening behind the scenes that make me as a fan really proud to be a fan and to be supporting these films. So yeah, that's coming, and I think you guys are gonna dig it. Like I said, I'm really proud of this one. I'm proud of all of our interviews, of course, and of course you'll see me geeking out like I always do, and stuttering and stammering like I typically do, and yeah, it's a great conversation, and Carmelo was just awesome. I think you guys are going to love it and love her. And again, hopefully you have already checked out my interview with Salem. If you haven't, that is linked down below in the description. Of course, back in earlier this year, we interviewed James Jude Courtney, and hopefully we'll be talking to him again in the not too distant future. But I still urge you to check that interview out if you haven't already. Let's see here. Let's check into the chat before we go over to shoutouts. Buddy loves fish says PJ would have been nice to see again. Well, if you saw our interview with PJ Souls again, she teased that there's something regarding her, something to do with her that we can look forward to in Halloween Kills. Of course, she didn't say what, and we don't want to know what. I've got an idea of what. I think it's going to be, well, I've said before, I think it's probably going to be a montage of some of the past death scenes from '78. I think Laurie and our characters are going to be remembering what they saw 40 years ago, and I think we're going to get actual clips like we did in the 2018 film of the Judith kill. I think we'll get Linda and Annie and Bob's kill, just quick little glimpses, clips from that film. That's again speculation. I've said it before. That's not new tonight. But yeah, check out my interview with PJ. She says there's something for us to look forward to. Let's see. Buddy says, hope the flashbacks have Carpenter's Laurie's theme OG version. That would sound so rad inside the theater. I wouldn't be surprised if it's something like that. Byron says, Matt, you should interview Andy Matichak one day and Kyle Richards again. Hey, I would love to. I would love to. Let them know. Yeah. Andy, Kyle, welcome here anytime. We will make up, anytime at your convenience. I think they know that. But yeah, I'd love to interview both of them. Like I said, I did interview Kyle. I was lucky enough to interview her about 8 years ago, and it was another great conversation, great interview. I was really proud about then, and still proud about, because at that time I hadn't seen her talking about the franchise, outside of like a dedicated Halloween '78 DVD bonus feature, really at all. Now, since the 2018 film came out, and certainly now with this one, she has talked about the franchise a bit more in the last couple of years. But at that time in 2013, I was really stoked to have her talk to us specifically about this franchise, and she said back then that she wanted to come back. She'd be happy to. I said if they ever approached you, and she said, oh yeah, definitely, and she even said then she was hoping that they would one day bring back Lindsay and all of the surviving characters. So here we are. And Andy, yeah, I mean, I've never met her, but yeah, she seems awesome, and I would love to interview her. So yeah, if you guys know somebody who knows somebody, let them know. Let's see. Ariel says, "Hey, you're excited, man. It's okay. Yeah, just a little excited." Ken says, "Let's put another shrimp on the body." Summit says, Andy was saying that Kills just starts at a 100 and goes up to a 500. Sounds like an intense, emotional, and heartfelt powerhouse of a film. Yes, and yes. Intense, emotional, powerful, heartfelt. Yes, all that. That's what I'm hearing totally. And I did listen to that Q&A after the U.S. premiere. It was spoiler-free, but again, it does say that more or less what we've been hearing, that this film is going to live up to its name. And that's the quote that I wanted to give you of David Gordon Green. I just remembered. And I'm going to paraphrase. I don't have the exact quote, but he basically said, they were asking about the kill count and the intensity of the kills and the brutality of the kills and the inventiveness of the kills. And again, paraphrasing, but David Gordon Green basically said, I thought that when we named it Kills, I felt like we had to deliver. So again, that's kind of what I've been saying for a couple of weeks now, is that let's just keep in mind, they named this film Kills. It's in the title of the film. I mean, how many movies about killers have had the word kills in the title? I mean, I know Machete Kills, and that's a badass movie. But, that's not exactly a slasher. Is it? It's not exactly horror. I mean, it does have some elements, but that's kind of its own thing. But, I mean, really, I've said before, what a bold, ballsy move. And, yeah, to hear him say that, yeah, I figured when we named it Kills that we had to deliver. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you kind of got to deliver the kills. That's, so, and the big difference of the audience that saw it that night as opposed to the audience that saw the world premiere a few weeks back in Venice is, of course, these were all fans and a horror-loving crowd there to at a genre film festival, and they were there specifically for this film. So their enthusiasm, I think, is more in line with what our enthusiasm coming out of this film will most likely resemble. Protect Safe says, does it look like the crowd is rushing into the hospital to take on Michael? I've seen certain scenes, and I've got some ideas of where the crowd is rushing and what's going on. Again, I'm going to hold off for now, I think, on too much speculation, just because, we're so close. I did say I'd give you some final predictions, though, and this is nothing too great, but, before anything major does get spoiled, God forbid, or before any of us, see the film, because I've not seen it, and I've not heard that either of these two things are in it. But I'm thinking more and more that these things are going to kind of happen. So this is not, I don't know this. This is just me as a fan, as a Hello Geek, just making a prediction to you guys. Number one, and I've been saying this for a while, but Silver Shamrock jingle. And I'm saying we're gonna hear it because the truth is I want to hear it, and so I'm trying to will it into existence. Also, if it is in there, I predicted it. Okay. Uh, so I think it's totally in the realm of being in there, though. Realistically, I mean that you've got Carpenter there doing the music, who worked on it. You've got Universal. They own Halloween 3, so they, in other words, like getting permissions, not an issue there. And I also think I wouldn't be surprised at all if it doesn't really sound like it did in Halloween 3. I think it'd be like a slightly more modernized version, or maybe not. Maybe Silver Shamrock doesn't. But we've got the masks in there. We know from the freeze frames we've done of that final trailer, they are definitely. They don't just look like Silver Shamrock. They have the button. They are the Silver Shamrock masks. We know this, and we know from Salem's interview that it was key to have those masks visible in certain key shots. So, all I'm saying is, Silver Shamrock jingle, commercial, either on TV somewhere, on radio somewhere in there. Let's hear it. And my other thing, and again, this is not a spoiler because I don't know that this is going to happen, but I was just thinking about this like the other day, and this doesn't, affect how I feel going into this one way or the other. I'm excited. It's just, but again, it's just my prediction. I wouldn't be surprised one bit if Michael and Laurie don't even really connect or interact in this film, like at all. I think that they're going to save that for Halloween Ends. You know what I mean? And I think that'll be the, we'll as David Gordon Green says, we'll get some kind of closure here, but not the closure of Laurie facing Michael a second time before we know or can pretty much assume that Laurie's going to face him a third time in the next film. Again, no spoilers. I don't know what's going on, but that's just my thoughts from everything we've seen. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he plows through all of Haddonfield and it kind of ends, promising us this one last showdown. So that's my final predictions before before the film. Now, let's get over and do just a couple shout outs real quick, and you guys can comment on what you think about those predictions. But we do these shout outs every week because Michael Myers Monday, I started that hashtag back in 2013, and it's taken on a life of its own. And so every week I try to share a couple tweets and posts from IG, just a couple. It's far from all of them. It's far from the best. It's just a couple random ones that I kind of pick out that make me smile or laugh sometimes. So let's check them out real quick. This first one is on Twitter, and it comes from @SpookyBoyMyers. He says fresh. He says fresh out of Smith's Grove, looking for a ride back home. And there you see Michael hitchhiking with the sign clearly advising do not pick up hitchhikers. Yeah, not the hitchhiker you want to pick up. Of course, Michael would just walk it, right? Ken agrees the Silver Shamrock jingle will happen when the kids are watching some horror flicks. I could totally see that. Ariel says, if Michael doesn't have a motive in 2018, what was his motive in 78? It's like he almost chose Laurie. I think I always just figured, yeah, he chose her because he's psycho, and she just happened to be the one to drop off the keys at his house. He happened to be there. He liked the way she smelled, I guess, and liked the way she sang to herself, and just decided, I'm going to pick you. And I think that's the whole thing. There was no reason. Yeah, that's what's terrifying. There is no reason. From the Halloween verse, this is our friend @Rach Carruthers. Of course, Rachel Carruthers parody account, part of the great Halloween verse on Twitter. Today, Rachel says, homecoming is this weekend. I wish they would cancel classes for the week. I can't focus on school when I'm this excited. She looks awfully excited for homecoming. And one more from Twitterland. This is from our friend at Stabby Time TV. Yeah, this guy has been posting hilarious Michael Myers videos pretty much every day for the last year and a half. Not just on Mondays. He posts them every day, and they're hilarious. Larry Moore checks in, says, "Hey, Matt and group, I'm late but couldn't miss Triple M. Welcome, sir." All right, let's look at let's. Oh yeah, this is Michael killing time, waiting on kills. There he goes. Working his way down. Nice mask. Again, that one from at Stabby Time TV. Go follow him. Hilarious Myers related content every single day. All right, moving over to Instagram for a couple shout outs real quick. This one is at That Ghoul Meg. She says, "You need to go to Roast the Dead Coffee." And I was just impressed with this giant Michael Myers mural, which I'm guessing is painted on the side of Roast the Dead Coffee. And yeah, seeing that, I do have to get there. This is from 122 and an eighth. Quote, "Are you fooling around again? I'll kill you if this is a joke." And they are an artist, and this is their sketch of one of my favorite scenes in the 78 film. And that is one of Laurie's best lines, where she says, "I'll kill you if this is a joke." And one more from Instagram today. This is at Har Savvy. Michael Myers Monday. Here you see he is doing the Nick Castle Challenge. And I liked his caption here. He says, "Stay alive. Friday is coming." And then this part I really liked. He says, "I know it's always great to celebrate the worst day of the week with one of the greatest slashers." I'd say the greatest, but whatever. "But now it's the month of Myers, and I feel like it's extra special, don't you?" Amen, Horror Savvy. I do feel like it's extra special because it is extra special. It is October. It is our month. Even though every day is Halloween here at HDN, it's not every day that we have a brand new Michael Myers movie coming out. But that's where we're at right now. It is almost upon us, guys. I just can't believe it. It is so surreal. I was thinking before I got on here, I should have like a better speech or something, or we should have more planned. We should be going live every single night, watching all the old films together and stuff. And while part of me would like to do that, and another part of me says, well, there's always next year with Halloween ends. I just think the bottom line is we should all just be enjoying this week and next, because we've waited this long, and it's been a long wait. And in some ways it feels like it's been forever. In other ways it feels like, wow, that, it really got here. And in some ways it feels like it was just 2018. In other ways it feels like it's been forever. So just enjoy the excitement, enjoy the anticipation, enjoy the hype, enjoy, Michael Myers in the air, like he is right now. It's everywhere. The merch is everywhere. You go to Walmart, it's there. You go to people's lawns, it's there. You go to, you look on TV, it's there. You look on AMC, it's there. You look anywhere, you're going to see those commercials. Whatever social media app you're using, it's there. The shape is there. So it is, I know I say it all the time, but it is the best time to be a fan of this franchise. There's never been a better time. Never been more stuff going on, more cool merch out there. And, we got what looks to be a damn good movie coming our way. Now, again, I haven't seen it. Maybe we all hate it, but everything I'm hearing about it, it's all pointing in the right direction, and I think this is going to be a fan favorite from what I'm hearing. Ryan says, so damn pumped for this movie. You and me too, brother. Larry says, our minds will be blown after H kills. I hear ya. David Sewer talking about the Halloween 4Ks. Yeah, I know that's been a source of some controversy. I only know because Screen Factory tagged us in a tweet, and then a whole bunch of people responded to that tweet and saying basically that they haven't gotten their pre-orders. Meanwhile, other people are picking up the standalone 4K releases from Best Buy. And I know the frustration. I've been there before where when you pre-order, you don't get it before other people that didn't pre-order. That's kind of defeats the purpose of pre-order. So I do understand the frustration. Hopefully Scream Factory is going to get them out to everybody and make it right very soon. Me personally, I ended up not pre-ordering any of them. So I'm going to be one of those people that goes to Best Buy to get them. Honestly. I didn't really. There was a number of factors. Part of it was money. I bought a lot of Myers merch, as you saw in that video, and that's not even all of it. That's not counting the inflatables and some other things that we'll talk about later. But I've bought a lot of Myers stuff this week. I am going to get them though at some point, and definitely that H5 with the new deleted scenes. I'm going to have to get them all. But I did start thinking later that ultimately one of the reasons I didn't get the pre-orders was, as much as I like those extra collectibles that come with them, the pins and the posters and the vinyl and all that, it's just like, man, if I start collecting the vinyl, I'm going to have them all, and that's going to be a whole other thing. And same with the pins. I own a couple, but I haven't like really dove in with the enamel pins. I'm like, and then, the posters, I love a new Halloween poster as much as anybody, but as you can see, I mean, wall space is limited, and while I did like the art on a couple of those releases, it's, wall space is at a premium in our living space right now. So honestly, it'd be like, well, where am I going to hang it? What's got to come down? What gets put in storage and what goes up on the wall? I try to rotate somewhat a little bit, but if you've been watching Monday nights, you know that back here hasn't changed, but so much in the last 6 or 7 months anyway. Brent says, I just got an email from Screen Factory today saying 80% of pre-orders will ship by the end of the week. Well, there we go. That's good. That's good to hear then. Excellent. Thank you for the update. Protect Safe says, I wish it was a 3-hour screen time. Oh, for the new film. Yeah, I guess it's not going to be quite that long. I'd be here for it though. But I do expect. Remember, 2018 has a pretty breakneck pace for everything that happens in that movie. It just starts, and so to hear Andy saying things like this one starts at 100 and goes to 500. Yeah, I think it's going to be a wild paced movie and very intense. Ryan says, holding off on the 4Ks for the moment, just dumped my spare cash on a Kills Mask rehaul. Yep, see? Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna get the 4Ks. Like I said, but I did start thinking, I could probably, I really just want the 4K releases mainly. I mean, as much as I love any collectibles and everything, I mean, again, you guys saw that thing earlier tonight of some of the stuff I bought recently, and again, that's not even the most expensive stuff I bought recently. So, yeah, I had to hold back on the pre-orders, but I definitely want to check out the H5 scenes like ASAP, like this month right away. And yeah, I'm probably gonna end up getting all 5 of them, and just when the price goes down a tiny bit, to get them individually. You know what I mean? I mean, what I've seen a few stills on social media supposedly from these new Dean Cundy supervised transfers, and they look really good, like stunningly good. Let's see. Yeah, our minds are definitely going to be blown, I believe. Dave says Amazon already has the 4Ks cheap. All right, cool. I'm going to have to jump on that probably. Very cool. All right, it is after midnight, guys, which means it is now Tuesday. Uh, no longer officially Michael Myers Monday, but that don't matter because it is Michael Myers October. It is Michael Myers month, right? That's what it is. So I'm going to get out of here, though, because like I said, I got an interview with another cast member tomorrow morning that I need to get a little bit of rest for so I can get up and be coherent and be able to talk and geek out with this person that you guys are going to enjoy watching me geek out with. I hope. You can always just try to block the part of me off and, just concentrate on them. I know I can be annoying sometimes, but I'm looking forward to that and looking forward to sharing that with you. I will reveal who that person is this Friday during the Halloween show. That'll be another live episode this Friday night. So look out for that. And look for our full interview, my epic conversation with Carmela McNeal. That is dropping this Wednesday morning. Now, when I get done here, I'm going to shut up. I'm probably not going to be ready to start it right at the stroke of 12:30. But if you follow me on Twitter, and if you're a night owl and you're going to be up or can't get to sleep, I'm popping in Season of the Witch tonight, part of my marathon. That's how I'm going to fade out tonight, is to the glorious soundtrack of Season of the Witch. And I'm going to be popping that in just a little bit and doing a little live tweeting before I hit the sack tonight. So if you feel like it, pop it in with me, and we'll do a little live tweet along. I'm doing one every night leading up to the new movie. All right, guys. I'm going to get out of here. Thank you all so much. As always, you guys make this worth doing it. I'm so excited. I feel so lucky to be able to get some of these stories from the set, from some of these amazing people that were there, people like Salem and Carmela and some of these others, and talking to James and all these people that I've been lucky enough to talk to and to share that with you guys, because I know nobody appreciates it like I do except for you guys, and you guys do appreciate it. So yeah, just enjoy it, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Lots of good stuff coming every day this month. Lots of new video content. Even more stuff that's not here on YouTube is at the main site, HalloweenDailyNews.com, as always. And whenever you're watching this, if you have a thought that you want to share about anything we've talked about, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a message down below in the comments and let us know how you feel. I'd love if you could like this video. That helps a lot. The algorithms and all that good stuff helps other cool people, new blood, find us. And share. Hit the share button. That helps too. And spread the word. We're here every Monday night. We're going to be here right through Halloween Kills and after Halloween Kills. We'll be here after Halloween itself. And we're going to be here all the way leading up to Halloween Ends. And after that, we're going to be here all the way leading up to the big 45 Years of Terror event after that in the year 2023. Beyond that, if 2020 taught us anything, let's not plan too far ahead, okay? All right, guys. I'm out of here. Happy Michael Myers Monday, everybody. Thanks again, guys. I'm Matt Arts for Halloween Daily News. Thank y'all for watching.